Okay, so this is the beginning of the project. We have a full day plan. First stop of the day we have to hit is Charlie's house. And basically, I'm gonna just spend the whole entire day and tomorrow interviewing people about their life this year. So let's get started. Got the bag, got the Sprite. I need my laptop. One second. Laptop is secure now. You know what that means. Come on, zip out. I'm going to use one of these things. Boom, boom, boom. Mask. Check. Alright. Even got the glasses to give them more Hollywood effect with these areas. Oh, yeah. These are gonna fall up fast. Sprite, secure. Board. Okay. Hold on. You ever put a spray in your pocket? This is like. Alright, let's kick off the first day of interviews. Okay, so we're coming up on our first stop, which is Charlie, Kim, and Margot. But I figured while I'm on the way to every stop, I might as well show off the city a little for those who can't be here. So this is campus actually. And that's St. Ignatius, I think that's how you pronounce that church name. Pretty old, I think. I don't know, but it's nice. It was a normal conversation. So, finally made it to Kim, Charlie, and Margot's place. I don't know. This is Margot. Margot, you want to introduce yourself, age, year, and major?
Mm-hmm. I'm Margot. I'm 19. I'm a sophomore, and I'm an international studies major.
Age, name, and major?
I am Charlie. I'm 19, and I'm an international studies major also.
Waiting for Kim.
Kim. I'm coming in.
Name, age, and major?
I'm Kim. Kim Marquez. 19, environmental science major.
Yeah. And we have Pitbull in the corner. Lovely art on the walls.
I just realized there was something not pleasant on my sweater, so I've turned it around, but we're not going to address it.
Okay. So basically, we're just going to have a conversation. So, how has 2020 affected you guys?
I think 2020 has been a lot, and it's affected everyone in almost every area of their life, I feel like. I think it's impacted my mental health really negatively at first, but the second half of the year really had a turnaround because I was able to move into this apartment in SF with my besties, so it definitely took an up in the second half of the year. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, let's just reflect. I don't know, I guess when everything happened, I feel like when I moved back home, it was kind of a terrible time for me. And yeah, I guess mentally it definitely took a toll. And then, yeah, moving to San Francisco has been nice. I feel like it's made me be a lot more independent, honestly, because I'm not relying on an institution to constantly be part of my routine. I feel like I'm less, I'm more of an adult now, kind of, because I'm more independent, but I guess in that way I feel like I've grown. But it has been hard, especially I don't know, I feel like it really takes a toll on everyone's mental health. It's just generally bad mental health for everyone, you know?
I think it's been really tricky because we made all these connections and had all these experiences, and then they were just completely shut off. And a lot of people can feel those connections disappearing that they made in the first school year, and now they're just kind of dissipating, which is really sad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And a lot of people are leaving, and everybody's situation is different, and
Yeah, for me, it was very chaotic at home. There was no way I would be able to do school. So so I'm so grateful that I was like able to move back to SF. But it's been so nice. It has been like liberating, I guess. It's just been nice having our own space and just kind of doing our own thing. It's been hard finding motivation definitely for school. Like it's so hard for me to, like I feel like I physically need to be in class to, I don't know, I guess I'll pay more attention in class, and like I need like the library and I need like my space. So we'll like do our homework together, or like we'll go to like the park or something and do work. So it's been nice having like establishing our own routine here. But it's definitely been tough trying to stay on track.
It's kind of interesting because COVID has brought out how online connections are just not everything, and I feel like they've proven that in some senses they can work, but in other senses like they really just can't. And I feel like it's a good representation of how far online connections can really go, with whether that be like with your classes or with your friends or
Yeah, and like how much you rely on
professors.
strangers. Like I feel like there's so many instances like pre-COVID where you literally just rely on like the presence of other people so frequently, and now it's like you are always alone basically. Like you always have to be isolated or whatever. So I feel like that was really hard for me. Like I miss like talking to strangers or like smiling at people or things like that. I would also say like, I don't know, I feel like it made me realize like how privileged I am, I would say, because I feel like I am so lucky to like still have my parents can still support me and stuff like that, and like I lost my job from COVID, so that sucks, but like I'm fine, but like all the people that are like having worse situations than me, you know, that are like can't work or like access things or go outside if they're immunocompromised, you know, things like that. Like it just makes you realize like how lucky you are. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Yeah, definitely appreciating my health, being so grateful for my health and just friends and family.
yeah.
A lot of self-care going on.
a lot of self-reflection too. I think between like being at home and isolating and these like social movements that we have going on, I think there's been a lot of time to reflect on yourself and time for self-growth in the midst of all this turmoil.
Indeed.
So, one thing, you guys mentioned the term stranger. Do you guys feel like, I understand what you mean, like, before pre-COVID, like, the term stranger didn't have such a negative connotation that we give on it that we do now? Like, we truly realize, like, people are strangers. Like, it's kind of, like, weird to be around strangers now, especially with COVID and everything. So, would you say, like, you felt that, and it was, like, that switch of, like, stranger being a positive thing to more of a negative thing now?
I think
That's
definitely for me it's just like more awkward. Like first after like we will usually just stay like here. It will usually just be the three of us in here. But like when we pass by the park and we see a group of people, I was like, it was just so weird to see people after being at home alone, like just with my family or with them for so long. It was like definitely a weird interaction. I was like, how do I go about this?
I don't think my connotation has necessarily changed to like a negative tone. I think it's just I proceed with more caution, like around strangers.
I feel like it's honestly, I don't think that my connotation has changed, but like I think that it has definitely inconvenienced me because I feel like I just get rejected a lot more. Like for example, us trying to pet that dog today, and the woman was like, no. That's like an example of like, it's just like, I don't know, I think
There's
overall
distance.
there's distance, and like I still like kind of don't really accept it. Like I definitely, like I will wear a mask and stuff like that, but like I still would, like I just forget, like instinctually, if someone like asks me like, oh, can I have some water? Like I'll just give them my water, or like, you know, it's things like that where like you don't think about it, and then you're like, oh, I don't know, I think in that way it's like that's what's taken a toll on me the most, maybe, like in my mental health. Like I'm just like, I long for like, I don't know, I'm also just such an extrovert that it's like very hard for me because I just like need other people to be around. I don't think it's like I am changing though. Like I think it's just like me seeing the world change around me.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially like I love listening to other people like talk or just so I love meeting new people. So that definitely has been weird and sucks, but it's nice that we have like social media and stuff to keep in contact if anything. But
That's
I think
true.
it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the last minute and a half. So, ending question is going to go off of your last statement, which is social media. Who do you think has the best social media platform out right now? Since, like, if you have to say, in
Like in the world, like of anyone that's posting.
Which one
Like-
do we prefer?
Yeah, like Instagram,
Oh.
TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, like who's
That's really interesting
winning?
actually because
Because like they're busy now.
yeah,
People are just stuck with their thoughts, and that's the only way they can get them across.
that's so interesting because I feel like I hate and love all platforms at the same time. So like, I don't know. I want to say Instagram because it's like, I feel like it's like the classic, you know? But, and I don't want to be this person, but like, in many ways, I feel like I could argue TikTok right now because I just feel like it's such a nice little like reward for me. Like when I go on TikTok, I just feel like I'm not like bogged down in like the having to like maintain social relationships. I'm just like, I can see like interesting little things.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of like Pinterest, but it's like still social. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's interesting. I don't go on TikTok really that much, just because I know I could get addicted to it, and I don't like want to fall into the whole trap, I guess. But I would also say TikTok. I think like they're so smart with their whole algorithm, like that they design to get to know like your interests and stuff, and I think people make some really creative content on it.
And yeah, it's like
You
a
can
great
actually
way to
learn a lot
connect
from it.
still. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for the longest time I was like, no, not TikTok. But I think Instagram has definitely been very informational. Like people posting like just stuff we should be educated on and stuff. But I also think TikTok is definitely like a huge platform. Like it's playing such a huge role right now. Like with upcoming trends and stuff. Like you'll see that arise, and it's also nice because it's like I don't know the scary algorithm that they have, but it's so accurate, and it's like nice seeing like just that little community even where you like relate to a video and you're like, oh, that's so nice, like, you know.
Yeah, because it's like, I feel like, yeah, I agree. And I also think, like, we will learn, like, a TikTok dance or something like that. Or, like, it's fun, it's, like, a fun thing to do. And it's, like, I feel like it's, like, the escape that, like, everyone needs right now. Like, everyone kind of needs, like, to not be, I don't know, in this, like, toxic, I feel like it's not as toxic, I don't know, TikTok, as, like, other social media apps.
I think it depends what
can,
side
yeah.
you're on.
Yeah, maybe
like
I
in
just-
it. Like I feel like there's so many different
Yeah.
little worlds within it. I would say TikTok is like the most successful and popular social media right now. It's not my go-to. I think my go-to is probably Instagram, honestly. I think that's just because I know I can pull away from it like easily.
I also want to argue Twitter. I don't have a Twitter, but like I see where it's coming from because like it's really interesting, the concept of like this is literally a platform for you to share whatever you want to say. Like that is all it is. And I think like I think that's really special and like a really important way that people can educate themselves and like communicate and
Yeah.
have like a discussion about
I think
things.
that's more conversation, like and
Yeah.
it really leaves it open for discussion.
Well, thank you guys. My favorite, honestly, platform to like communicate with friends is honestly Discord. If you ask me, Discord, because this is like so neato. This seems hilarious. Like they always are on some meme shit. So that's why it's my favorite.
Oh, wow.
But thank you, Kim. Thank you, Margot. Thank you, Charlie. Any last words for the audience?
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, Juju.
Thank you guys.
Stay healthy.
Live your best life.
Oh yeah. Little pit stop along the way between interviews. That right there is Sutro Tower. Or that's at least what I've been told it's called. I don't even know if that's the right name, but I call it Sutro Tower. It's always looking dope. You can see it from like everywhere in the city, it feels like. We back here at the top of the hill. And so yeah. Now we are here with Tay. Or well, name, age, and major. Can you guys each give us your name, age, and major?
Yes. Want to go first or do I want to go first? Maya. I'm 19. I'm an international studies major and a journalism minor and a German studies minor.
Taylor, 20, and marketing.
Okay, dope. So basically today all I'm doing is just going around asking all my friends these questions of like, what has changed in your life since 2020, since the events of 2020?
Since going home, basically, like the world shutting down.
Everything from the world shutting down.
Just like any, like even like personal life, like
Yeah.
whatever.
2020 has been one hell of a year for
Damn,
everyone.
yeah,
So
it really has been one hell of a year for literally everyone. Do you want to go first? Mike?
I don't care. You go first.
Okay. My life literally changed.
Yeah, my entire life.
My entire life.
Everything about
changed.
everything.
I went home, spent time, literally it probably was from March to June, so how many months is that? Like 3? The only people I interacted
3?
with, March, April, May,
March,
4 months. Or like 3.5. I only spent time with my family, that's it. I saw no one else. So I spent a lot of time by myself. It was absolute hell. Never want to do that ever again. And I realized that I needed to have like a community of people in my life. So that I moved back here and I kind of created that for myself. So that my life kind of changed. My whole lifestyle changed.
Mm-hmm.
I went from doing everything by myself to doing everything with
I mean, you're
other
still
people.
pretty independent.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between being independent and being, like, I don't know, dependent on other people, but being independent and being, I'm literally talking in circles. There's a difference between being independent and being, like, alone, like, doing everything, like, thinking that you need to do everything by yourself.
Yeah.
So, that changed. Moved here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
when did you guys even meet?
We met in August,
Yeah.
and we did
The first night that I moved here, my first night
first day you were here. You
I
and
hung out with Julie and he met
yeah, and
me
you
to
brought them to
14th.
14th, and I walk
And
in,
then I met
and
you.
was that
You
was
were
it?
with Maya?
I was with
think.
Maya, and you were you the one that were
I
like, oh my god, I
met
like your
Sabrina.
outfit, and
I
I
think it
was
was
like, I think it was Bree, but you like came into the conversation, and because it was just the two of you
I
sitting on
met
the couch.
everyone that night. It was so weird. I met Lisa.
That was so
everybody.
interesting.
It's weird seeing you guys now. Like my first impressions of you were like so different than like
Oh, my
how
first
I know
impressions
you
too,
now. It's so
Because
weird.
I came in, when I moved back to San Francisco, I only knew 2 people.
Alex and Ursa.
Alex and Arissa. And I spent majority of summer with them, and then I came back and I literally met everyone end of July, August.
Mhm.
And it was just like kind of blows my
And
mind.
me. You met me.
I met you, and I mean,
And then
we
now a month later,
then a
we
month-
were living together.
and
It's
then,
so weird.
no, but it was like 2 months,
like
it was
oh,
like
it's
2
one and
months
a half,
later.
2 months.
We
ago.
literally, the middle of September, we were like, okay, we're all living by ourselves, let's move into an
And we
apartment.
did not think that we would live here, and now we live on top of you.
And now we
guys.
live in a house with like our
It's
best
so
friends.
weird.
It's so weird.
I moved to San Francisco during a global pandemic. That's like my
I
biggest
moved
flex.
back to San Francisco during a global pandemic.
Same here.
Yeah.
But
And like I
Literally,
didn't even know I was moving here.
my
and then
friend
I
asked
did.
me, he was like, how are you? Because she's one of my old friends, so we don't really talk a lot. And I'm like, my life is a mess, but I'm having the best time that I've ever had.
I want some candy.
yeah, I'm just getting some candy.
So it's like, it's strange.
When did you guys say? Because I talked about this earlier with Charlie and them. I was like, it's kind of weird.
It's so weird.
Like it feels like since this year, like the biggest life changes. Like it's so weird. Like pre-COVID, I mentioned the term like stranger. Like it's weird meeting a stranger now. Like strangers, you could used to be like,
weird.
like
When
you
I
used to
see
be-
someone without their mask, I'm like, you're literally a criminal. Get away from me.
It's so weird how polarizing just like a few things can
Mhm.
be too. It kind of blows my mind.
Lots of different.
And just like I feel like one thing that I realized, I think a lot of us realize the importance of having. I don't know the importance of having like close friends. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people had. You have like a bunch of friends, but then you just like after this, I don't know. Like you just find people you like to spend a lot of time with, and it's just different. Because before people would like go from like people to people. It was just like the social scene is just very different.
It's weird because it's like before COVID, like you used to have to wonder, like, am I really in someone's life? And now I'm like, I'm really in you, motherfucker. I'm like in y'all's life.
You always had to question, like, do
That's
they
what
actually
it
like? You always had to question, like, do I actually mean something to them or no?
And now it's like,
And now it's like, it's kind of comforting because the people that you hang out with, you know that they're like in your life and they're an important piece of your life, so it's kind of like it's comforting. Because before you'd meet so many people and be friends with so many people, you wouldn't necessarily know if you're like actually important or whether they're gonna remember you in like 2 years or like 5 years. But I can tell you right now, in 5 years, I'm gonna remember everyone
Oh yeah.
in my life right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's interesting.
You better not ever forget my name, bitch.
You think I will?
I just said the
Never.
Sorry.
Oh no, if you cuss, I don't really care. Like, just don't be ignorant about it. But, you know, it's just a normal conversation. That's all it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll never forget your
I will
name.
literally never forget your name. I'll never forget your name. I'll never forget.
Even if we grow old and we're not friends anymore, you better still remember my name.
I know.
Oh, Tay.
I don't think we'll ever not be friends. We'll just be in different parts of our life. But like, I feel like if I'm close with someone, I never stop being their friend. I never don't call them my friend.
Mhm.
They're just not as close to me.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Oh, sorry, I was just enjoying this candy. I was just letting you guys talk, but okay.
So what is your project on, really? Like, I want to make sure we cover all the bases.
It's 2020. I'm just literally asking you guys questions about.
It's about 2020.
Yeah.
Like how it's changed.
How has it changed you? Like basically that's it. Reflect on your life this year and just tell me like what's new.
I feel like a whole different person.
I feel like a whole different person. I have a whole new perspective about a lot of things.
Definitely happier.
I'm so much
I look so
happier.
disgusting.
Do you see me?
Maya, you always, your worst is literally better than my best. Like, shut the
I
fuck
don't
up.
know what you're seeing. Anyways.
Yeah, anyways.
But, yeah, I don't know. My perspective on many things, like not many things, but just like life in general has changed.
Like, I don't know. I don't know, it's just so weird.
I know.
This city really, like, just brings out the
Being
best
able to
in
live
people.
here and like actually experience
I, like,
it.
look out the window and I'm like, holy shit, I live.
Not just because living
in
on
San
campus
Francisco.
is like you have your own little bubble of campus, but when
Being
you
able
actually
to, like,
live in the
explore,
city
like, yeah.
and you're just living, because that's kind of I think what online school has allowed us to do, even though it sucks and none of us learned anything. It allowed us to actually like kind of live in the city, you know, which is kind of nice.
Even though it's like kind of on
Even
lockdown.
though, yeah, even
Like,
though
can you
on
imagine,
lockdown.
like, this is like 10% of the city. Like, can you imagine when things
I
open
know,
back
it's
up? Like,
empty. We're all gonna be like, we're not gonna know how to like deal with people. Our whole perspective of like how many people is a lot of people changed drastically.
What would you say is a lot of people now? Like if you had to give a number.
A lot of people.
a lot of people's like 7 people. Like, that's like a lot of people.
Oh, I meant like,
What do you mean?
I don't know, not in like no, I don't think 7 people is a lot of people. I meant like stranger wise, like I feel like 25 people in like a room is like, whoa.
That's
Well, I work at a grocery store, so it's like I see a
Yeah,
lot of
but-
random people
But
every
when you
day.
think about it, like when I'm working too, like our busy days aren't even what they used to be. There used to be lines out the door. Like, just think of, like, imagine that now. Like Castro, it's dead compared to what it is like in normal times.
Mhm.
Like there's people in the streets, yeah, but there's no tourists.
Mhm.
And San Francisco's a popular city. So the downtown is dead compared to what it usually is.
That's true. Market is dead.
Market is dead. Usually there's people everywhere. It's insane. So, I don't know. Like when we see the streets like downtown crowded, we're gonna be like, what is this?
I'm gonna like walk outside and have like anxiety attacks over how many people are everywhere. Not even because like of COVID, but just because like I don't know. I feel like after this whole thing is over, I'm gonna have such bad social anxiety. When I have to take my mask off and people get to see my whole face, and like it's just gonna be so weird. You know? I like covering up. It's like a security blanket for me.
It kind of is a security blanket, but also it's so weird to me when my coworkers like they'll eat, and my like perception of what I think they look like.
So different.
It's so different every single
People
time.
tell me they're like,
They
I didn't
take
expect you to look like
take their
that.
mask off, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you looked like that.
Mhm.
It's so weird. Everyone looks so different when they have a mask on.
I've had multiple people tell me like, I didn't expect you to look like that. I'm like, what'd you expect?
I mean, the people I knew, I like met without masks on, they look the same with or without the mask.
Mhm.
But people I met with a mask on, and then I like saw them with the mask off later, or I usually see them with a mask on, and like the brief times I see them with a mask off, it's so strange. They're like different. They look like different people.
Mhm.
It's so weird.
It is so weird.
It's so strange.
Like one time a manager walked in the back, she's like, what's your name? And I'm like, this was when I worked there for like 2 weeks, but she was like, what's your name? I'm like, Taylor. She's like, oh my god, I didn't even recognize you.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's weird.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
Remember how like I don't know if you guys remember. It's like if you went to a movie theater and like you came out the bathroom, you was looking for like where your friends are.
Mhm.
Instead of looking for their face, you just remember the outfit like of the day. I don't know if anyone else does that. Like remember their friend's
No,
outfit
I remember their outfit. Yeah.
of like each day, so I can easily
Yeah.
spot them out. Now it's like
Now it's the mask.
it's the mask.
It's so weird.
What are you doing?
I'm watching TV.
What are you doing in the fridge?
Getting my ice cream.
I want a snack. Do you want to order food?
No, I just had pasta.
Suthi, you want to say hi?
Hello. Is this part of your interview?
Yeah.
Hello.
In fact, this is probably gonna be a concluding part. You wanna do the conclusions? Be like, thank you for.
Okay. Glad I-
Thank you for.
But I might go to talk about later, cause I'm craving their ice cream. So, do you wanna come?
Maybe. When you want to eat your result or your lab?
After I watch 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. You have fun with that. See you in 2 hours.
Well, thank you two for doing this segment. Thank you guys.
I'm so sorry. I just want to personally apologize to your professor for my appearance. I've been stuck at home all week because I had a stuffy nose and my work thinks I have COVID.
That's another thing. Being sick.
Oh yeah, in
It's
sick
so
pay, it's so
controversial.
stressful. It's so stressful.
Being
By the way, my
sick-
results came back and I'm negative, but whatever.
Being sick and having a cold. Everyone like. It's like you committed a crime.
Like I sneeze at work.
People
and I'm
forget that there's a difference between a cold, flu, and COVID. They're not the same thing.
I know, but to be safe, I had to wait.
Well,
and
yeah,
I've been out of work
yeah,
for like a week
definitely,
and a
but
half, and I'm just. going
It's so like you say you have a cold, and everyone's like, oh, not like. And people would say they had a cold like months ago, and be like, oh, whatever. It's just very different. The concept of like being sick.
Chocolate croissant. Anyways,
I mean, you have to apologize to more than just my professor.
Huh?
I'm putting this on YouTube. That's how I can upload it.
Hi YouTube.
I did not agree to that. You said that you were just gonna show your professor.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Delete it after. Private it.
You can do unless.
Thank you, Tay. You wanna reach your hand out so I can shake your hand? Shake. Man, okay. Thank you, Tay. Thank you.
COVID.
COVID.
Oh my god. Thank you guys. Enjoy your day. Oh. Hello, you two.
Huh?
Hello.
Hello.
Christina, Caesar. This is the video. You guys are in class?
No, I'm just watching this lecture.
What?
Are you doing?
I'm recording the videos now. You guys want to talk?
I
Videos
have,
for what?
for what? How long do you need it? How long do you need it?
10 minutes.
Okay. I can probably do it right now. Oh yeah, before I have class soon, but I can probably do it right now, like a little bit. What do you need me to say? Are you recording right now?
Yeah, it's recording right now.
Oh.
Oh,
This is a normal conversation.
like,
Like how we do the podcast, bro.
How you need to apologize?
How we do the podcast.
we do like a
Podcast.
bullshit podcast.
Yeah.
Is this a bullshit podcast right now?
Well, no, it's
No,
actually
for his.
my club.
Wait, so what's this project like related? Like, is there like a specific thing we have to talk about?
Literally, all I'm doing is spending the entire day going around and talking to people about how 2020 has changed them.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess first of all for me, like this whole COVID situation, how things have just gone from like a normal lifestyle to just like completely everyone's staying home and quarantining and trying to fill their time in their day with like other stuff. It's just like completely different. And I've mentioned this before to other people, like lately I feel like I've just been keeping myself to like the confines of my room and just staying in and doing work or just like hanging out and like not getting out as much as I should be or used to. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is closed that like I would usually, go do or like places I would go to, but like that's not the case. So I guess like now we just need to adapt and do other things. But like I guess I could speak for other people when like this whole quarantine process has brought out like other things, like for example like are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What else about 2020?
You talking about the people we lost?
Oh yeah, I was talking about the people we lost. Yeah, like I guess like in the music community, like Juice WRLD, Pop Smoke, artists that I was like just beginning to listen to more, and it was just really sad at the ways that they went. And also like celebrities like Kobe Bryant, like I was not expecting that at all, man. I woke up that morning and I was just like, whoa, like what? And I don't know. I feel like everyone was expecting such greatness out of 2020 and expecting it to be such a good year, and that we were hit with COVID, and then we were hit with, just all these deaths, and then all the George Floyd stuff, and all the police brutality, and then the protests, and just riots, and Trump just making a complete fool of himself, and just stuff just kept piling like on more and more and more. But like, even though there's been a lot of bad stuff going on, there's still, good stuff happening also in like my life. For example, like I started a new relationship with Christina, so that's a good thing. And I've also gotten to spend, time with my family over the holidays and stuff, and just, grow closer connections with them, and then also closer connections with other people, such as yourself or Taylor and, the girls upstairs. So I think there are some, it goes both ways. But I think everyone's also just waiting for this year to wrap up, and hopefully 2021 will be better. So that's my opinion. What else should I? I don't know. Let me think. What else can I add? Do you want to add anything?
2020 has been like emotionally I've been like emotionally drained, and it definitely took a toll on like a lot of people that way, like mentally. But I think it helped us also appreciate the things we have even more.
interviews, and we're gonna go hit up Homes on Blake Street. Thank you, Steve. And we're taking our present, bringing Ted and Victor. It's gonna be an interesting journey. We are here with, give us your name, age, and major.
Wait, can we do that over?
No.
Let me get a hat.
Name, age, and major.
You want to go first?
Okay.
Talk up a little, just so you know.
My name is Mickey Stark. I am 20, and I am a marketing major.
Anthony de Guzman,
Wait,
19.
let's actually like do this though. That's alright. I know, but like if you're gonna ask us for like your name, age, and like major, like I'm gonna give you like a serious cut now. Like I'm like in the zone.
Yeah, I hope you know we're still recording.
Yeah, I know you are.
This is the interview, Mickey.
Yeah, like this is all gonna be a part of it.
Is this what cops feel like?
Okay.
I really have to mix into the final cut.
It is. This is all the final cut.
Yeah, I don't think you got it.
Okay.
Yeah. International business major, 19. Anthony de Guzman. Yeah.
Anyway, so basically today, I'm spending the entire day just going through town and asking people, like all my friends, basically how 2020 has changed them and like everything that's happened this year, how it's just like impact your life. So if you want to speak on that.
I would say 2020 and the coronavirus pandemic definitely gave me some perspective on like things I took for granted, like seeing my friends, going out, seeing a movie, just like simple stuff like that has like, I would say, gained more importance in my life as like now we're restricted pretty much to our houses. So I don't know, I definitely think it's a learning experience more than anything.
So, Mickey?
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely been like a very like relevant point, and I feel like there have been like lots of things like I feel like we've never realized that we've enjoyed so much that we take for granted, like going to the movies, like even like school. Like I miss being in like classes, and like you never think that you'd actually like miss being in school, but like at the end of the day, like you really do, and it really makes you like realize. And I think like especially when things get back to normal, I feel like it's really gonna change a lot of like perspectives.
Like really, I want you guys to like actually like think like literally just a year ago we were all turning up at the dorms and everything. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a big switch.
Yeah, I remember we were in San Diego together.
Yeah.
We were like,
You were the last person I saw before quarantine started.
we were literally like, oh yeah, dude, we're gonna get like, this is great. We're gonna get 2 more weeks of spring break. Like, this is literally great. Like, why aren't we like the rest of the schools? Why aren't we following what they're doing? And like, we literally thought it was gonna be like another one of like the wildfire days, where it's like it's just like 1 to 2 days, you know, maybe a week, but like it's turned into like an entire like crap has hit the fan.
We were calling them too. We were like one of the first people to get the news that school was gonna be online.
We were calling like public safety and heckling public safety, and we were like,
We literally,
like what do you guys know? And they're like, yeah, we don't really know anything.
I'm gonna put that video in this actually like as a cut just to show like we legit were the last like we were the first people to get the news that like school was gonna be online and we were so hyped, and now look at us.
Academy of Arts have been canceled, and like Santa Clara have been canceled, and like I'm kind of getting kind of worried about it now. If like all the other like, you know, colleges are like, you know, canceling.
Still stuck inside.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely been like an interesting year, and I definitely think like it's on like another point. Like I feel like it's interesting because like I feel like in like 20-30 years when like we have kids and stuff, like this is literally what like history books are gonna be like written about. Like I feel like yeah, like obviously it's a really sucky time, but like we're literally living in history right now, which I think is cool.
It's pretty dope. I'm actually about to switch seats right now just to cut because my phone. I just want to charge it, so we're back. So yeah, we were just talking about everything we took for granted, like seeing friends and everyone. Me and Mickey reflected on us being that, like, he was the last person I saw before quarantine started. But I mean, how have you guys been passing time in quarantine? Really, like, any new hobbies?
I mean, you know this. We've been playing basketball a lot of physical activity, schoolwork, just like the standard stuff.
Honestly, for me, like mine, I feel like I'm a little bit different. Like, I feel like I'm busy most of my time with school, and like I also I work a lot, which I feel like keeps me busy.
Nice. I was gonna say I like your hat, there, Cartman hat. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
is there anything else you guys want to have to say?
I mean,
I would say just be considerate of others. Don't do actions that put others at risk.
reach out to your friends during these trying times. Everyone's going through stuff.
Yeah.
It's good to check up on people.
Have you guys been in contact with any of your old friends?
Yeah, like I would go back and forth from here, so like I would see a lot of my high school friends like over quarantine. Socially distance, of course.
Yeah. This video is actually sponsored by social distancing.
Yeah,
We are a great endorser of social distancing.
6 feet.
That's 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm 6 feet.
Or just say be conscious of others. Wear masks. Don't get other people sick.
No, that's also interesting to think about. Like, you guys ever thought about the fact that how like testing is like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go get tested. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, remember how like in the beginning, like it was like, oh my god, you're gonna go get tested. Like, then something must
Yeah.
obviously be wrong with it. Like now it's like socially normal.
Yeah, I think it's.
It's a responsibility.
I think it's definitely positive to be conscious of what your health is doing, and I think especially now with COVID and obviously the risk of getting sick, I think it's very smart to be conscious of where your health is at.
That's it. Well, I was gonna ask you guys this too, cause I wanted to talk about this in a video somewhere. But as you guys know, you guys are both single, I'm assuming, right?
We're both what?
Are you guys in relationships?
Me, no, he's meddling.
Well, how would you guys say dating is during quarantine?
I would say it's harder if you can't be with people. And I feel like online dating is not necessarily for everyone. And I feel like you kind of lose that sense of connections. Like you can't go to bars, you can't go to clubs, you can't go to school, you can't meet your classmates, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very true. But also with the girl I'm talking to, I guess I've been more inclined to talk to her since I'm not doing anything anyways. And I don't know, interaction's been slow, so I see it as a plus.
Just
If you can find it.
I just feel like everything takes longer nowadays. Everything needs a 2 to 3 day buffer time.
That's true.
Because it's definitely different. Like you said, you're not just meeting people.
Yeah.
And, I just want to say thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you too, bro.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
You guys have any final remarks? Any shout outs?
I want to shout out my homie Trent. He couldn't be with us today.
Yeah. Shout out to Trent Navolsi. Great
Trent.
guy. Great guy.
Great guy.
That's about it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Anthony and Mickey and Anthony. You guys have a nice day.
You too.
You won't be very good, but
Exactly. Lower my tuition.
lower it.
Well,
What's up?
Oh, you're already filming.
oh yeah, Chris gonna start. Please give us name, age, and major.
My name is Maddie O'Brien, and I'm a design major.
My name is Ariana McClure. I'm 19 and I'm a chemistry major.
Okay. Well, today I'm just doing interviews with random people, just asking like how their life has changed because of the year so far and like everything that's happened. So, anything like, would you guys see there's been a drastic change in your life since quarantine and everything?
Do you want to go first, or?
You can.
Well, first I got furloughed from my job. I used to work at a Pilates studio in San Francisco, and then I got kicked out of the dorms. So it was like I was jobless and living at home. And
For
classes
like
were
what, the
online.
first time ever since you were like 13 too?
Yeah, I've been working since I was 13, so it was like just a really weird moment because I'm also like super involved, so it's just like weird. It was weird to have free time. I didn't have like a day off second semester because I'm also in a sorority. So that was weird and very bad on my mental health, and I went back to the East Coast, so I was 3 hours behind. So I was like waking up at like 3 p.m. Sun was setting at 4 p.m. That'll do things to your mental health.
Waking up an hour before the sunset.
You know, the hour of daylight for me was just really good. So no, I like learned a lot about myself this year, and I think especially once school got out in the spring, I just kind of like learned a lot about self-love, and just like I was spending so much time with myself, I had to like learn to like myself. But then, you know, moved back to San Francisco, have been here doing classes online with my roommates, just chilling, vibing. But I've also been bored a lot because I didn't get a job until like kind of recently. So it's just a lot of like sitting at home twiddling my thumbs. I'm very light sensitive, so staring at that blue light all day like really gives me a lot of bad headaches, and also bad for your mental health.
Going through how many pairs of blue light glasses this semester?
At least 2, and I have flux, so like that also like
Get flux.
get flux. It really helps. But yeah, I kind of decided to just take a semester off because USF is raising tuition, and my mental health isn't the greatest. Online classes just aren't good for me. And I'm paying an arm and a leg for rent when the classes are online and we don't go to campus. So 2020 has drastically changed my life, and I kind of wish I could go back to normal, but you know, I've also learned so much about myself this year, so I'm kind of thankful for that part of it. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, not dwell on the negative too much, even though who knows what's happening next year. But that was my tangent. Hope you enjoyed.
Okay, I guess I'll go now. I honestly can't think of anything that's stayed the same. I feel like everything is completely different. Ironically, being like this close to the end of the semester, I have almost this feeling of like sadness that it's over because it was so hard and I was getting through it, and it like there's an immense amount of I think pride I have in myself, and just like this kind of newfound resilience. I mean, for the first time in my life, like I fully gave up, and like I've been for my whole like the entirety of growing up, I've been an overachiever. I've been in all the extracurriculars, having straight A's, you know, sports, everything. I was trying to go to college for sports, and I guess now it's like nothing works, and nothing. Like it's like almost whatever effort you put in, it just like flips over, and it's like, screw you. And I've never given up, and for the first time I did, and it was really, really hard. But I think that it's kind of given me this new perspective on myself and how to keep going, knowing that I can feel like everything is falling apart, like I'm actually dying, and still be able to wake up the next day and not know how I went from giving up on Monday to finishing one of my hardest finals today. But I guess that's what 2020 is for me. Just not knowing how I keep going, but I do.
Well, you guys both made it through, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Somehow, some way.
You as well.
Oh, sure.
You're still grinding?
I dropped a lot of clouds. Like, screw that. But, so, you guys, you're both in the sorority, right?
No.
Okay, so as far as sorority, because that's a big social thing, like every year, would you say like how has that changed socially since last year?
It's definitely like I feel like I lack the same sense of community within the sorority. It has been kind of nice to still be in it, just to have that like one thing I look forward to every week, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to chapter, I'm gonna see everyone, and I always like message my friends during it. But it's still kind of like lacks that sense of community because like before chapter, we all line up and we talk about our days or our weeks and we update each other, or we go to chapter dinner beforehand in the caf, or we just like hang out after and like go to the undercaf after chapter. So we lack that sense of just like seeing the people that you don't reach out to all the time that you like love to still see, or the people you aren't as close to, or the people who like didn't come back to San Francisco that I'm definitely not seeing. So it's just like, it's definitely changed a lot because it's way more just doing the business kind of parts of the sorority and like making sure we're doing our service hours and that we're keeping up our grades and just things like that. But we're just lacking my favorite parts of it, which is the social aspect, and it is the parts where like you create that community and you like meeting the new members. Like I haven't met any of them in person, and like I'm still forming relationships with them, like getting to know them and FaceTiming them, but it's just so much different not continuing to build the relationships in the way that you do when you're in person, which like definitely sucks, and it's definitely like you're losing out on the best parts of it. So I think I answered the question.
Oh, yeah.
I go on tangents. So.
Ari, you said like before this year, like you never like you always been trying to like push harder in like school in classes. So would you say like it's definitely been like a lackluster, like being that it's online, like it's hard to really have that same drive?
What I will say is like, yes, definitely. I've always been a person who genuinely like loves just learning. Like I love information. I love like exploring on my own. Over quarantine, I got into like physics, like, and I'm weird, I know, but like, and for the first time, like I don't have the capacity to sit down in front of a computer and actually want to understand what's happening. I feel like school has just kind of lost its touch almost. It's not as exciting. It's just kind of like all the subjects are drained of everything that makes them exciting. And it's been really hard to kind of try and maintain the drive and maintain the discipline, having everything mushed into one place in one space. So I hope, everyone else in the country fails along with me this year. So we can all balance out that bell curve. But if not, it's okay.
It's also like I am doing schoolwork in my bedroom, I'm taking class in my bedroom, I'm eating in my bedroom, I'm relaxing in my bedroom.
I'm having mental breakdowns in my bedroom. Yeah. I'm having everything's in your bedroom, and there's no like space, there's no routine. I can't mentally get into the headspace of wanting to be there and learn.
And it's also like I feel like I'm doing the work to get the grade to pass the class, and less of actually like doing the work because I want to learn it and because I want to like absorb it, because I want to better my knowledge.
That's the most depressing part, because I signed up for every single class I signed up for. I was ecstatic about taking. I was ecstatic, and I feel like I've learned close to nothing material-wise.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that. It's just like sitting and watching a YouTube video you don't want to really watch.
Exactly. I can't I can't feel the professor telling me the information. I just it doesn't the information doesn't impact me the way I feel the professor getting excited about it. The professor's not excited to teach me. Nobody's excited to be in the situation that we're in.
Yeah. And in one of my classes, they tried to create community by putting us in breakout rooms and giving us groups. And I found that most of the time people just either wanted to complain or just shut their camera off and didn't really want to discuss in the breakout rooms. And so I recognize that there's an effort to try and make that community, but it's so hard to
expect other people to want to do it, because I don't want to turn my camera on either.
And you were even saying, you mentioned this at one point in the semester, you were I just sometimes when you're sitting in the classroom, you feel that pressure that everyone else is doing their work, or people are getting better grades than you, and you want to try and beat them, or you want to live up to that potential, and there isn't any of that when you're taking classes online. So it's
and that's like everything we're used to because we've had like traditional high school experiences. So it's definitely difficult.
Well, thank you guys both for joining in on this discussion. Any final remarks or shout outs?
Shout out Ari for being a good roommate.
Same to Maddie, and I guess shout out to everyone for still doing this.
Yeah.
Because
Pat
I know
yourself
how
on
hard
the
it's
back.
been. So,
It's been a tough time.
Well, thank you guys for having me today.
thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you.
Right now? Oh, you can turn. Yeah. Well, I'm here with Ishan and Dennis. Or you guys want to give your name, age, and major?
I'm Dennis. I'm 20 years old. I major in entrepreneurship innovation and a minor in computer science.
I'm Ishan, 19, and my major is biology.
You want to be in this?
I will
You can
go
do your.
sophomores.
So basically, what I'm doing today is just going by people's houses and just asking them like, how has 2020 changed you guys? Like everything that's happened this year.
I feel like it made me a lot more unproductive than I was. I feel like school being online has been rough, and like there's just a lot of distractions at home. I just haven't been able to like be my like self in this studious environment that I used to be like when I was actually in class.
But if you guys can just talk a little louder, just so we can hear you.
Oh, okay, but.
I can give you a microphone if you want.
Oh no, it's cool. I'm keeping it just cut.
You always just share, repeat that.
Oh no, your shit. Dennis, how has this 2020 affected you?
I never really smoked before this, but since August I've pretty much been smoking daily. And so it definitely made me into a stoner.
Interesting. That's one thing we haven't touched on here. And so far that I've done the video, like no one's really talked about like how they've been getting through day by day. And like I'm not knocking you for your smoking or anything, but like would you say like it helps you get through the days, being that everything's just like you're just stuck by yourself basically with quarantine?
I wouldn't say it helps you with the day. I'd say it's just there's nothing to do. And that's, in our age, I feel like is the only thing that you can really do to have fun. As depressing as that is.
Yeah.
You can't really play with toys when you're 20.
Yeah.
And you can't play sports all the time. What are you gonna do at night? You can't play like soccer at like midnight.
There's lights.
Yeah, okay, let's just play soccer 24/7 every day. Or basketball.
You just need an excuse not to work out.
That's not even what I'm talking about.
What else would you say has changed in your life? Other than the fact that you smoke.
I used to never spend time in my room.
Really?
I always used to go out, but now majority of the time I'm in the house. Or in my room, yeah. Either you're in your room all the time too.
I was telling people right, like when you think about like literally a year ago today, we were just all in the dorms turning up.
Facts. And like I feel like it's gonna be so different now, cause like no one, like I was going through my old like videos and stuff on my phone, and I was like looking at like Rolling Loud and all these festivals. Never ever gonna be the same like that ever. And like that many people that close together, sweating on each other. Oh.
Vaccine got approved.
Yeah, I know, but like even after the vaccine, I feel like.
Are you guys like? I feel like no one's socially prepared, like mentally.
For the vaccine?
Like mentally, socially prepared to like see a lot of people in one setting.
To go back to how it was.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be scared. It's gonna take some time, but like, I don't think it's gonna be the same as that.
I'm honestly just really pissed off because after high school I went to the army and that was pretty much the same as quarantine because you don't see any of your friends for a whole year. And then I only got to enjoy college for a semester and then everything went back. So I never really left the mindset. So my mindset didn't really change. But I definitely see how like other people have changed.
Do you think that, like looking back, do you regret coming to school, being that it was just gonna be the same? Like, would you say like, would you rather be in the army or?
I regret taking a gap year.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's so far everyone. Like, people are like questionable with the schooling process. Like, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but like, the school is increasing tuition.
No,
yeah.
They're not anymore.
They're not anymore?
They're only increasing it if classes aren't online.
If classes aren't online. Okay, good.
They probably won't.
Are you guys prepared to be back in a classroom like setting?
But I want to. I can't learn online.
You don't have that drive, you would say?
It's not even that. It's just I just have no motivation at home.
Yeah.
Like being in an environment where like you're in like your home space. I feel like I need like that working environment to actually have that motivation. Like at school, I'd actually like see other people doing stuff like at the library, and give me motivation to study. But like in classes, and that like help me.
You need to be accountable for going to a certain place physically on the daily, or because we can structure a whole day
Based on
and our whole routine literally based on going to a specific location for like an hour, at least an hour, 5 days out of the week. It's as simple as that. Really. I don't know. That's my point of view on it.
Simple as that.
But I see what you mean. Like,
Shared
when it was
workspaces.
structure in your life, like, you felt way more productive. Like, I have to wake up at this time. I have to be at this location at this time. Like, now.
Yeah, like you still have to wake up at like a certain time for classes.
But I mean, like, I'm talking like last year. You have an 8 a.m. This year. You just wake up at 7:45 if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Keep your camera on.
The thing is, it's like when you went to classes, every single time you went, it's the fact that you're already out. It kind of spirals into like little side quests. So like, I used to go to class and then I'd leave class and I'm like, maybe I'll just go get some lunch. So I go to the cafeteria and then there I'd see some friends and then we'd be like, let's go like hang out for a bit. And then we stop hanging out. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go like work out or something. And then I go work out, and then like it just like keeps continuing. And now you wake up, you go to class. Class is finished. You're still in bed. Nothing is different from either if you woke up or not. Even if you're sitting at your desk, you're still in the room.
How would you say that? Like, have you done anything to improve that? Like, for me personally, some days I'll be like, just to make sure I'm productive. Like, I wake up as if I'm going to an in-person class and like get dressed and everything. Have you done anything similar to help yourself like boost yourself here at home?
Yeah, definitely. Would dress up and like shower, like make coffee or something.
That's good.
But after like an hour and a half of sitting and looking at a computer, you kind of like everything that you try to make it look more normal, it just kind of goes out the window because you're so brain dead. We're just looking at the screen.
Interesting.
I also try to switch up my work environment. Like, in my room, I know for sure I can't study as well. Like, I come down here to study. But, like, I try to be more, like, proactive and, like, productive during the day. Like, I like to start off my day with, like, going on a run or something. Because, like, it really wakes you up.
Shut the fuck up. You went on one run.
You know, damn well.
You went on one run as far as I know.
That was today.
Listen.
In the past
I've gone on how many runs since I've been here, and how many runs have you gone on?
I see you on your story. You're always like out.
I'm not
always
saying.
on a run.
I'm not saying that I go
I literally
running.
go on a run at least twice a week. This
No, you
guy's
don't.
not gone once.
You didn't go.
I wasn't
I'm
here
not saying
for
I
2
go
weeks,
running.
bro. I was literally in LA.
Literally,
What do you
didn't,
mean?
You didn't run for like a month before you left LA.
The hell you, bro?
You're
I
getting
literally,
off course.
bro.
This is exactly small arguments like this tend to happen more often.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, people. What I've noticed whenever I'm at different people's house, they're always with someone. Like, I'm doing like
Facts.
at least a couple people per interview, or 2 or 3. And so like what I've noticed is that I start to see a trend. Like, the fact that people like you guys have been living together, like, it's more like interaction, whether it be like confrontation or not, like pros or cons or whatever. But you have to appreciate, like, it's more interaction. Like, you actually live with someone who's in your life now.
No,
which
yeah,
is-
thanks.
Yeah, but there's definitely like it doesn't really matter who you live with. It's just kind of like because we have 7 people who live in this house. But like, I don't even see everybody like every day. Like there'd be some days where like because like Elliot's a lot of time in his room, and like sometimes I don't see him, or like Carlos and Jack. It's Zahara who live downstairs. Sometimes I don't see Jack, or like I see Carlos for like 10 minutes. So like.
Interesting.
Same with you and your neighbors.
Yeah.
Even though they live above you, doesn't mean you probably see them every day.
Not every day.
Yeah.
But we're coming up on the last minute of the interview with you guys, at least. Do you guys have any like final thoughts or shout outs you want to make?
Fuck this quarantine.
Shout out Pfizer.
I hope your professor isn't mad that was talking about weed and the curse.
Well, I mean, so far a lot of people have cursed, but I'm glad you touched on the use of substances, whether it be weed or alcohol. Like, I feel like if you're definitely not, like, these are tough times. Like, literally, this is a tough time for everyone. Everyone has something they're doing to help them get through. And I'm glad that you actually touched on it. Like, no one's touched on this before.
Check out my rat my red bus quiz about recycling.
Buzz quiz.
We're going crazy here.
That's facts. We are going crazy.
Eshawn, you have any shout outs?
Shout out Pfizer, bro.
Shout out your Insta.
Huh?
Shout out, follow him on Insta.
Yeah, follow ISHAN.ZABRI.
Yeah, I'm not sure about social media shout outs, but you know,
Put the snap right here.
Snap.
Add me on Snap right here.
I'm not even putting a snap anywhere.
So right here?
Subscribe.
I'm not.
Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. I'm actually putting this on YouTube.
Oh,
Well,
hit the like,
hit the
follow,
like
hit
button.
the share.
Follow, share.
I mean, I don't really care about social media like that, but thank you guys. Thank you guys for your time. Currently heading home because I guess we gotta go on a little adventure mid-segment. Little filler.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, I
Okay.
saw you
Talking
get the
about
tree. He's like,
drugs.
bro, you didn't turn around. Like, we have a
My
video
turn,
thing."
Lee. Don't you go.
I was like, bro, I
Roller
saw
coaster
you.
time.
Oh, shit.
Whoa! It's like a roller coaster.
Watch
So,
my
I like
brakes
it.
give
I mean,
out.
I don't like it.
Now, just basically introduce yourselves, name, age, and major.
Okay.
Talk up a little so we can hear you a
Oh,
little.
bet. My name is Aaron Akui. I am a sophomore. Don't mind me holding this knife. I am a sophomore at USF. What else do I say?
And major.
I'm a business management major with a couple minors.
My name is Miles Frederick. I am a sophomore at the University of San Francisco. My major is architecture, community design, and architectural engineering.
Sure. Dope with you at AG. So basically, just explain how your life has, if you experienced any drastic changes in your life since quarantine.
I think everything has pretty much been the same in my life except for, you know, doing the usual things I would do outside of the house, like going to the gym, maybe, you know, going to the parties or something. But I think it's actually changed for the better for me because I've learned to do more things at home. I've learned to, you know, just adapt to, you know, the changing environment, and I don't know, it's worked out for me for the most part. So
How would you say, does it change anything like school-wise? Like, of course, school-wise, yeah.
No, school-wise, it's been a whole lot better for me because I was homeschooled in high school and I took a lot of online classes, so this is pretty much the same thing. So it's been like a whole lot easier for me to adjust to it because I did online school for basically 4 years of my life.
Okay.
So.
It's actually, you're the first person I've heard, like, talked about, or who's done online school before, some sort of like.
Yeah, pretty much all my curriculum from the 9th grade to 12th grade was online school. Half of my curriculum, I'd say, probably like 60, 70%.
Would you say that they taught it better before it was like?
Well, yeah, because it was traditionally an online class, like it was supposed to be online. Otherwise, as here, the class is supposed to be taught, you know, in a classroom by a professor. So when it moves to online, you know, curriculum becomes sometimes a lot easier. So it was easy for me to adjust to that because I was used to curriculum being online and me teaching myself, you know, U.S. history or introduction to physics.
Okay.
So, wasn't that bad.
I went to like in person. I've never done online classes before. How about you, Aaron?
For me, I don't know. At the beginning of when did we really start going into quarantine? I think that was
March.
like March-ish.
March. Spring
That
break.
That was right before they kicked us off campus. So, I mean, at first, I really was not appreciative of the fact that I was away from home and stuff like that. But I don't know. When we had to go home and stuff, I was like, oh, I fucking hate coronavirus and shit like that. Oh, sorry, excuse my language.
No, you can cuss.
Oh, I can cuss?
This is literally a college project, bro. You can.
Okay,
I literally
okay.
say like, I want you guys to talk how you normally talk.
All right, bet. So no, I wasn't a big fan of the quarantine at first, but like the more I kind of was at home and stuff, I started like to learn more about myself, if that kind of makes sense, because I didn't have all those people outside that I was so focused on. Have my life really revolved around the people that came around me and stuff. But like, I don't know. To me, it was a moment of growth for me. Cause like I didn't really like acknowledge all the flaws that I had. I thought I was a perfect person, and that's kind of just the human kind of ego at its finest. Cause of course we want to be the best, of course we want to think we're the best, but at the end of the day, most of the people who are saying that, they're not the best. It takes a lot of work for you to be the best. Some people don't put that work in, and some people do. So I guess that's what the pandemic is teaching.
That is true. Because even when you said it, I felt that you gotta think we were in quarantine for months now. It's not even been a full year, but like all of us at one point were stuck with literally just ourselves. Like you gotta talk to yourself and examine yourself.
And the thing I noticed too is when we came up here and we were looking at all the relationships around us, we noticed that it was kind of strange because people wanted to get into these relationships super fast, and we was looking at people and we were like, yo, already? Like, chill out for a little bit. And then we kind of got to know it, and we kind of understood where it was coming from, and we learned that it was actually people who were afraid to be with their own thoughts and stuff, and people who were afraid to be alone.
Exactly.
And we were like, you gotta be. Hold on, let me start over again with that one.
You preaching right now.
I'm talking to him real quick.
This is why y'all the last segment. This is why y'all are the last segment. I want y'all to preach.
No, but like I was saying, that's why I be preaching on my Instagram now. I just want to spread positivity and love and shit like that. But it's crazy though because you do see all these. Damn, this shit is hot.
What you making?
I'm making some turkey and some cabbage.
Ooh.
Put it all together.
Who taught you how to make cabbage?
Huh?
Who taught you how to make cabbage?
My mama taught me how to make cabbage. I don't make it good as her though.
Right.
But like I was
Never
saying, like, we noticed a lot of people are afraid to be by themselves, and that's because they're scared of something in them, or like they're afraid to like address like maybe traumas that they had when they was a kid or something like that, and that's why you have like abandonment issues or something like that. But like at the end of the day, it's learning to like love yourself and stuff like that. That's what I mostly learned.
No.
I was putting my own needs, and that's just because of my personality and everything. I'm just like very nice. I'm very generous. As part of my culture, I gotta be generous like that. But like you have to learn to be selfish in the right areas and stuff like that. So it's crazy to learn that balance. And once you figure it out, I feel like you just go far.
I have two things to respond to that. And Miles, I also want your opinion on this because I know you about to preach on this.
Yes, please.
The first thing I'm about to say is this. Knowing there is nothing wrong with being selfish. You gotta admit that at one point, like, we are at that age, like, bruh, we can't be looking out for everyone. We are at that age where we gotta start thinking, what am I gonna do in my life?
Yep. Exactly. We are at that stage in our life, and people are not ready for that. People are not ready to start thinking about that. But like, when you lay down those foundations at a young age, instead of waiting until you're in your late 20s and fucking up and shit, like, you'll be good. You'll be set. You'll have those times to have fun in your life. You just gotta be patient and like grind it out.
Exactly. Now here's another thing. I know Miles, you about to preach on this because what Aaron mentioned was taking time to look at ourselves and like having a personal like, evaluation of ourselves. And you were talking like on an individual at like one. Now, one thing that definitely happened in 2020 is like our country as itself had to like do a personal evaluation of the whole nation. Mm-hmm. Miles, would you mind speaking on that at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, with everything going on with the presidential election, there's been a whole lot of, friendships being ended because we really just started seeing the sides of things, If you supported one person, then you supported this, but if you didn't support that person, then, you didn't support that. And a lot of people, some people say that's taken too serious or it's taken hard. No, it's reality because if you're trying to go someplace, if you're trying to succeed, then you need to set a value system. And when you set a value system, you need to stick by that value system. And if your value system says, I'm not going to surround myself with somebody that doesn't support, me as a black man and me trying to do this, the advancement of colored people, the advancement of my race, then why should I waste my time trying to be your friend, trying to, chase behind you? No. My value system says I'm going to be surrounded by somebody that wants to be like me, that wants to grow, that wants to be better, that wants to give back once they become better, And so I think that's a whole lot of that went down, or at least for me, because I really saw like, oh yeah, like that person's not really my friend, because if it really came down to it and the situation was in the moment, that they would not vouch for me. So I just think it's all about, setting those foundations and those value systems like Aaron was talking about and just living by them and staying consistent by it. That just really happens a lot in 2020 for me.
That is true. One thing about that, the political, like you said, like if you support this person, then you support this, and if you don't support this person, then you don't support that. It's all about the person represents the movement, whether they like it or not. Even like the spokesperson may not be the best of the movement, but they still represent some portion of it. Now, as far as that being said, like, I feel like with a lot of the friendships you see now, like, it's not like before everyone was really like paying attention. Like, we have been stuck in home. We had to pay attention. Like, you can't ignore what's going on in this nation when you gotta sit down and think about that 24/7. It's not like you gotta worry about, oh, I gotta be here at a certain time. No, you are sitting there and you gotta sit and think. So.
And I will say that the pandemic really amplified the George Floyd incident, because we all were at home when that happened. Like, where else would we be? We was at home. We was watching what's going down. That's why it meant so much to so many people, because it was on the big screen. People don't recognize that shit. Like, they only want to get active when it's on the big screen. Like, you gotta be putting that work in when people aren't watching too. That's what really matters.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Miles?
I don't know. I just, going off your whole concept of, 2020 and pandemic, I just think like it really boils down to, what do you do if everything stops around you? How do you adapt? We are judged by what we do after it happens, not when it happens, after it happens. If you're not learning from it, then, you're still at the same place, if not in a worse place than you were before. So it's just about, a whole lot of people are trying to say, it's fine, it's a pandemic. No, that was the case 1 or 2 months, okay, maybe 3 months into it. But after 3 months, it needs to become a reality in your mind that this may be my life. How am I supposed to live my life in this? After that, if you're still, not doing your work, not getting up, going to class in bed, stuck, moping about it, then it's on you. Now, I can understand if, you got a job and you got to do all this and that. That's understandable. But if you're not actively trying to work on yourself, trying to prevent you from being in that place that you're stuck in because of the pandemic, then it's just worthless. Like,
There's nothing we can do for you.
Exactly.
A lot of the stuff that people want to do in their life, and a lot of people say they want to do a lot of good stuff in their life, but actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
People aren't willing to put that work in when it comes down to it, because you ask them to work on themselves, and they just they're in denial, and they don't want to acknowledge that they have flaws too, because they're human. Like, we all human. I got flaws. Miles got flaws.
We all have
I know
flaws.
Julian got flaws.
I have hella flaws, bro.
Like, we all have hella flaws, and it's all of that is dictated based on our experiences in life and what we went through. And so once you get past that point where you can acknowledge your flaws, then you can start healing. Because people want to be in denial all the time. Like, that's just a horrible circle for you to just keep going in, and you're doing horrible things to yourself. And then that just feeds into the idea of self-image and stuff like that, and picturing yourself in the best light possible. Because if you look at yourself you ain't the shit, you dog shit every day, thinking you're moping around and stuff like that, oh, nobody fucks with me, and bro.
At one point, you just gotta carry that shit and keep it going.
You also need to realize realities. You also need to realize, okay, I'm not the person that I think I am, but this is how I think I can become that person.
Exactly.
Yes, you're supposed to think of yourself in this high manner, and yes, you're supposed to think you are the best, but you also need to recognize that you may not be. There is somebody there's always going to be somebody better than you. But in order to be better for yourself, there are ways to cope with that. There are ways to, go about being better without, always trying to think that I'm this, I'm that, because, it's the way life is. There's always a bigger fish.
And the thing is, if you always think you're the best, you're never going to be learning from somebody else.
Exactly.
Because you can always learn from somebody.
Always.
I don't care if it's some random ass homeless dude on the street, some random crackhead. He's got a story. Everybody's got a story, and through those stories, you have lessons. So don't be afraid to be learning something new every day. That's not shameful. Why do you think that's shameful? You bettering yourself. Stupid.
True. That will be the final message of basically the whole entire.
Better yourself.
Better yourself.
Better yourself before you start trying to look for all this fame and this glory and all this money and stuff. Better yourself. That way, when you do have all that, you know how to handle yourself.
That was bars.
Yes, sir.
You guys have any final, shout outs or anything? I've been letting people give shout outs.
I'm good.
Shout out my mama. Shout out my dad. Shout Shout out my 3 siblings. You know, that's who I do it for. I do it for them. I'm gonna be a little selfish right now, but when I get the bag, everybody's gonna get the bag. Love y'all.
Miles?
Shit. Shout out the ones that are just thinking of me and helping me get to where I'm at and where I'm going to be. Shout out those ones, wherever they are. Shit.
Thank you guys again.